3 Fs in a row just from my math tests. And that is because I thought that I already knew what I can do. I already thought that I can solve all these expressions, and I thought that I was ready for the tests, but I really wasn't. So I didn't even care about learning. And for the first time ever, the teacher actually pulled me aside and asked me if everything is alright, because I've always been this high performing student who has always gotten like A's or occasionally B's, so just like a nerd. But right now I got 3 F's in a row. How could that may have been possible? Well, after those 3 F's, I started to learn more efficiently because I didn't really know what I was doing, and I thought that just by being in a class was enough. And so I got those 3 F's, then I started to try to find all these different systems and how to actually improve in the way of studying. And exactly after that, I fixed all of the grades and I got like A or B at the end of the school year. But only after that I have realized that you need to have an efficient way of studying, otherwise you are going to end up like me with straight F's. Who am I? I'm Martin. I have always got like an A or B at the end of the school year, which in my country means that I've always got like the honors, you know. So that meant that I was always learning, I was always studying, even though I didn't care about most of these topics. Honestly, I did not care and I couldn't care. I still had to perform well. And so I did what every other student is doing nowadays. I just took the notes and just read them, and I read them over and over again. That has gotten me, certainly, all these good grades and all this academic performance. But I realized that I don't want to live like this. I don't want to live a life where all I do is read this almost same stuff over and over again just to get some grade. And the fact is that I would have to do this for quite a few more years. That is not something that I wanted to do because I couldn't care. And I also didn't enjoy the process, you know. So I've started to look online and I found techniques that have made like so much sense. They make so much sense right now, but back then I couldn't even imagine that something like that would work. And so what I've done is that I've taken the time and the grades that I was getting. So this was like the grade that I was getting, A or B, and this was the time that I was putting in every day for like few hours. So I've kept up the grades high while lowering the time that I spent. And this is like an asymmetrical, right? You do a little bit of work for a lot of, results. This is the asymmetry that we all want, all the students want, and that's what you want too. So if that's something that you're interested in, subscribe right now. Go ahead and subscribe because I'm telling you all the secrets that I've learned about studying and how to do this more efficiently and effectively. So now, how do you actually get to this point where you get good grades while studying? Really not studying, almost not studying, where you outperform the nerds but still had the same time as the, not so smart students. Well, you do that by having systems in your life. The systems that actually work and do that work for you, that do the asymmetries. Now what I want you to do, if you actually want to improve, take all of the studying techniques and everything that you've been doing, throw it out, forget it. Now you're going to learn how to study again from scratch, from ground zero, because otherwise you are going to be like misleaded by your old habits. Where has your brain gotten you so far? Yeah, you might have gotten straight A's, but you have had to spend so much time. Imagine all the time you have wasted if you put it in something that you actually enjoy. Wouldn't your life be that much better? So listen up and forget everything that you've already known so far. There are a few ways in which you can learn. There's like a visual way, which you probably do right now. You can learn through hearing when you attend a lecture and the teacher is explaining that to you. So you use both hearing and visual. You can also learn by movement and a few different ways, but those are mostly the ways that you learn. Now, we want to honestly abuse the technique that the teachers use. Do you know what they use? They use testing, they use tests. That is what we are going to take from them and actually use ourselves. So teachers give you tests every now and then. They grade you, but the grading process takes like a few weeks and even sometimes months. And by then you have already forgot everything that you may have possibly known. So that feedback loop doesn't close entirely. Yeah, it closes. It does, but after a long period of time where you have already forgotten more than half of the stuff that you've learned about. We're going to do the testing, but we're going to have the feedback loop almost instantaneous. That means that you're going to get that instant feedback, which is going to make you that much more able to remember all the stuff. So we're going to take your notes and we're going to give them to an AI. It doesn't matter what kind of AI. Then we're going to ask it to make a bunch of questions based on this topic, based on the notes that you've provided, and style them as if they were in a test, Under each question, add the right answer beneath that. So what you're going to have is you're going to have a question, answer, question, answer, question, answer. Bunch of these on the topic that you've provided from your notes. Then after that, you're going to answer the question while not looking at the answer, obviously. Otherwise, there is no point in that. Then you're going to take your answer and compare it with the answer that is right. You do it multiple times and you'll have so much more understanding rather than if you just was reading this notes again, or if you would have just been highlighting your notes. So this is kind of an unfair advantage that the teachers use on you, but you don't necessarily realize it, and you obviously don't use it. Because if you would have been using this technique, you would have been so much further ahead. You can also do this by hand. You don't need to have ChatGPT. You don't need to have an AI. You can just think of the questions and write them down. And then after some time, just do the test as if the AI has generated this to you. But this way, this approach is safe. It saves so much more time. And it makes you able to take the test right after it has been generated. Because how do you create questions out of your notes? Well, you first read something and then you base the question on the note, but the note is the answer. So if you create the test yourself and take it right after, that's not really fair because you still have that in your short-term memory. We're trying to get the notes into your long-term memory. And right after you have finished the test, you have written it, you get graded, and you don't need that anymore, you can just forget it, you know. Now, of course, you still need to have good lifestyle. You need to sleep well, you need to move a little bit, and you have to have some kind of diet that's in any way. Just cut out the sugar. Don't eat the stuff that you know you shouldn't be eating. You'll be golden. Now there are now if you actually care about this and you want to make sure that you spend even less time while getting even better grades than you currently getting, go to the link in the description and check out the course that I've made just for you, just for students like you and me who are trying to actually do this. Where studying less and getting higher grades than the nerds is possible. So yeah, go ahead and check it out because I know is going to change your life forever. So yeah, go ahead and check it out and subscribe.